Hello all you Wahs and Wahettes, it's your boy Hyper Mario 24 coming at you with another Wario World video because honestly it has been a bit since I've done a topic video about Wario and I know how much you guys love hearing me talk about Wario and I want to deliver. For today's video I'm going to be talking about some of the differences of the English version and the Japanese version of Wario World. Ever since I faced the Japanese final boss and showed it off, I was really curious as to how many more changes were made to the Japanese version, and I have to say, there really aren't that many significant changes made to the Japanese version. I was actually starting to question myself if I should really make a video about this since there really isn't much to talk about with the changes, but then I thought, you know what, I'm the Wario guy. I love talking my head off about Wario, even if it's just little minor stuff. So, here we are, and I do hope you guys enjoy. So, thanks to the site recommended by my good buddy Morgan, I was able to read and discover some of the minor changes that were made to the Japanese version of Wario World after the international one was released. So, let's go down the list. To start off, we're going to be talking about the small bug fixes that were changed from the English to the Japanese version. Apparently, in the Shivering Mountains level, there was a certain ledge that could be grabbed in the English version of the game that you could use to skip a certain section of the level where you had to use a mad move power driver on these icicle dudes in order to proceed. In the Japanese version, you can't grab this ledge at all, meaning you can't skip this portion of the level. It's a very weird change, but I guess they wanted to make sure that players were going through the stage as designed without skipping even a small section of it. They actually did this again in the Mirror Mansion level, where it was possible to skip both of these portrait mini-bosses by performing this super jump glitch, which looks insane. Now in the Japanese version, you can't skip these fights at all, since they patched out the super jump glitch. I even attempted to try to glitch out myself in the English version, but sadly wasn't able to do it. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but I started to give up after 15 minutes of trying. Alright, now going back to the Shivering Mountains level, during the fight with the Angler Mangler mini-boss, by doing a power driver mad move on one of the barrel enemies, the little white dudes will be launched in the air and hit the boss's weak point. But in the English version, there's a possibility that the barrel buster will be destroyed, but its hitbox would still be active, making the fight against the Angler quick and easy to deal with. But as you can probably guess, this was patched out in the Japanese version. Also, some slopes were made more slippery in the Japanese version. Yeah, I know. Not much of an interesting change, but I figure I'd mention it anyway. Well, that's it for the bug fixes. Now for some of the real changes made to the Japanese version, though these really aren't much to talk about. In World 2 Level 2 in Wonky Circus, one of the sub-levels of the world had its background changed between the two versions. The international versions had two layered circles surrounding the stage, whereas the Japanese version has two vertical wheels on both sides of the stage. Now, why was this change made? You tell me, I have no idea. If you wait on the title screen of the Japanese version, a demo will appear showing Wario going through some of the levels, where in the international version, the game's opening will just repeat itself. Also, the title screens between versions are slightly different, with the Japanese version having Japanese text, which I'm pretty sure just means Wario World with a little cool Wario emblem next to it. The Nintendo logo between versions also have different colors, with the internationals being red and the Japanese being blue. I wonder why. Maybe blue is a popular color in Japan. Alright, I figured I'd save the best for last. The big change to the final boss, Black Jewel. I'm sure you guys saw me already tackle this boss in my last video, but I figured I'd talk about it again since this is probably the most interesting change of all. The international fight of the Black Jewel starts off so cool with the Jewel pitting Wario in this odd dimensional arena, and now he has to free all the spritlings from the crystals in order to damage and defeat Black Jewel. And that's pretty much the boss fight. I don't think this fight is particularly bad, it's just that there's not much to it to make it an exciting final showdown. All you have to do is run, avoid attacks, free the spritlings, and damage Black Jewel. Lather, rinse, repeat for the entire fight. It's actually pretty tedious now that I think about it, and could take unnecessarily long with just how much health the Black Jewel has. Again, not a bad fight, but it definitely becomes less interesting the more you play it. The Japanese fight on the other hand, oh boy did they make some changes. The first phase is still basically the same with Wario having to free the spritlings and all, But now the Black Jewel actually shoots a barrage of treasure chests at you, and you actually can hit the chest to maybe get some money, garlic, or even a bomb if you're not careful. Ah, but you'll notice I said the first phase, because yes, the Black Jewel actually has a second phase this time around, and it's pretty awesome. He just has a new set of attacks for Wario, like creating flames around him, trying to flatten him, just straight up charging towards him, and going crazy with just spamming treasure chests everywhere. He also shows a little battle damage the more you attack him. I really love that detail. If that wasn't cool enough, this phase also comes with new music to hype up the battle, and it's pretty great. This music was actually shown off in the E3 trailer of Wario World, but was never put into the international version of the game. But because the programmer of the game, and I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, Masato Magawa, was so attached to the final boss after the release of the international version that he decided that they should make a new few changes to the game as well as the final boss before the release of the Japanese version. It's so cool that they did something like this, but man, I also think it sucks that the international version wasn't able to get a great phase 2 like the Japanese version did. Of course, nowadays, it's easy to play this version with emulation and all, but it's still kinda lame that we didn't get a great phase 2 like the Japanese did, but it is what it is, I guess. But if you were to ask me which version is better, definitely the Japanese version, just for that second phase, man, it's really good stuff with an awesome second phase 2 music. If only a certain favorite game of mine has something like this too, but I'm gonna have to save that rant for another video. Oh, I might as well mention this too. The cases of the games are also different, with the English box art showing Wario in his throne surrounded by treasure, and the Japanese box art is a gold-themed case with just Wario's face and a text that says Powerful Wario Game 2004. And the case itself is clear, with the inside of it kind of reminded me of a Switch case, honestly. And honestly, I can't tell which one I like more. But I think I'm gonna lean towards the Japanese box art. It might seem simple, but it's also pleasing to look at with it being gold themed and all, as well as the case itself not being like most GameCube boxes. Though the international box art is by no means bad, I still love this one. And that's pretty much all the changes between the Japanese and international versions of Wario World. Besides the final boss, there really weren't any big changes made between the two versions, since they are still mostly the same game. But I still think it was interesting enough for me to make a video about it, since I do love Wario World and I plan on making more videos about it in the future. There's also some debug features and unused music found in the game that I thought I should mention too. If you want to check out other details about the development of Wario World, I'll leave the link my friend provided me in the description below. But that's about it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short video of me talking my head off about Wario World. What do you think about the changes of Wario World, and is there anything I might have missed? Let me know in the comments, and please leave a like too. It lets me know that I need to make more Wario videos and that you want to see more, and I hope to deliver. But until next time, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic rotten day, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Stay safe out there, and as always, peace!